You just.
Good evening, everyone. This is Robert Stevenson. It is Monday, May the 18th. It is 6:01 p.m. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to open up the Southwick Holland Granville Regional School District School Committee meeting for tonight. Can I get a motion entering the meeting?
So moved.
All right, all in favor? Amanda, let the record show the motion passes 5.5, no, 6-0.
Did you say 620?
No, 6-0. It was 5.5. Jen's hand was like kind of up and then, no, it's okay. I'm joking. All right, Pam will be with us here shortly. She is currently auditing the track and field competition right now, so she'll be in and out. So there'll be some votes with 7, some with 6. All right, can I get everybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
All right. Fantastic. Okay, let's see. Consent agenda. We've got the ice cream truck for the 3rd grade. Oop, I don't know whether that's going to pass the policy we're going to do later. Well, field trip to field trip to Wally Park on 6/8. It's rated $2,000. Wow. Okay, AED. Okay, AED donation and a minutes from 5/4. Anybody have any issues with this? All right, let's move forward. Superintendent Willard, what do we got for correspondence?
I do not have any correspondence.
Nothing for correspondence. We will go to the student advisory report, but Josh isn't here, so we're going to skip through that. All right, we have a special guest tonight with us. It's his first year as the assistant principal up at the high school, and he was voted to come and give us a breakdown of the or voluntold. So, Mr. Kennedy, why don't you come up? You can have a seat right here, and you can give us a breakdown in a very summarized version of what we're doing with the handbooks this year.
So some of the main ones that we're changing, a lot of it is just kind of changing language of who the assistant principal is and what that. But if we go to page 9, we're adding more concise information about the proper use of AI. So before it was very vague and it just kind of said 3 things. We now have kind of a definition of AI and then brainstorming what they can use AI for. So it kind of gives them an idea instead of it being used as a tool where they just create a paper. It's just basically proper use of it. Besides that, if we jump down to pages 18 and 19, the academic policy. So we had initially the appeals board, and we're replacing the appeals board with the principal or designee. So it just kind of makes it much more concise instead of having, I think it was 2 teachers in that, and just changing language instead of having the appeals board, principal and designee. And we also added in certain situations, a student may make up absences through completion of appropriate restorative practice assignments. So if they're going over and let's say one of them was unexcused, they have the ability to kind of make that back with a restorative practice. Page 20. So when we had the skip or absences from classes, it used to be really punitive where it was that they actually had, I think if the first skipped class, it was 2. It was a Saturday school, and then it went to 2 internal school, like ISS, and then it went to like 3. So the kids are skipping the class. We don't want them to skip or lose more school time. So instead of that, we looked at more restorative practices of teacher detention, after school, Sunday detention with appropriate work to kind of make up that time. So instead of having them getting farther behind after missing a class. And the final thing was to page 29 and 30. We removed the yonder pouch and just have all students within the school doing the same thing with the cell phone caddies. And there was one thing that we did have in, but the honor reminded me to put in today. So page 63 is about dances, not us. Page 63 is about dances, and what we need to have is students over 21 or older can't go to the prom per se, but also under 9th grade. We're saying anybody in high school goes to the high school dance. So that was the one change that we had made.
All right. Anybody got any questions? So you realize that you're gonna be the designee now, for that section, work with the principal or designee? Probably.
Probably.
And the chuckle that I got behind you
Yep,
confirms
I think that was the confirmation of that one.
All right, anybody have any questions? Thank you so much. You did a great job.
Thank you.
All right, fantastic. All right, Deanna, you're up. You got the next two, right?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Oh, scheduling updates. And don't be intimidated by this chart, but I'd like to remind everybody why we were even looking at our schedule. So the current schedule has been in place for many years. And the middle school and high school are two separate schedules. So therefore, there's many things we can't do, but in particular, share staff. And, you know, a high school teacher teaching a middle school, it's been very problematic. So that was the biggest issue. And also, we are one school, one community, and we want to all be together. So we've had a scheduling committee that has been meeting on a regular basis, I think, since like November. And some of the big wishes on our wish list was that we wanted a rotating schedule. Because certain kids are either late to school or, you know, act up at the end of the day. We didn't want the same teacher to have them every day at the same time period. We also wanted our classes to be anywhere from 52 to 62 minutes, around that area. We thought that was our sweet spot. And in doing so, we had to remember that we need 3 lunches and preps need to be 60 minutes each. So one of the first schedules we really liked was where there was one long block that was like an hour and 20 minutes for anybody who had lab or a test that day. And another day it would be shortened. And then the usual classes would be about 58 minutes, but because of the prep time, that wouldn't work out. So we really looked at all the various CTEC schedules of the schools that belong to CTEC. And we liked Agawam and Long Meadow. So we kind of took Long Meadow and we kind of made it our own. So it's basically a 4-day rotation with 8 periods. We like having 6 periods a day because that's about an hour long. If you have 8 periods a day, it's 42 minutes, and that's too. So if you look right before like 10:39, so these 3 up top here, it's a 4-day rotation. And it's 4 periods in the morning and then 4 periods in the afternoon. So on the first day, you know, 1, 2, 3, and as you can see, the 4, it just kind of keeps going like that. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the lunches, we will need different lunch schedules for every day. That's the one downer on this one. And the afternoon classes also rotate 5, 6, 7, 8. And no teacher would, there would not be a single day where they didn't have a prep. So even if it's a day where their prep would technically be dropped, since they're teaching 6 out of 8, the other one would be a duty. So we would just forfeit the duty so they would have that time. Teachers were really advocating for teaching 5 out of 8. I don't think that's possible. If we could do that, we absolutely would. But depending on class sizes, I don't see that happening, but most schools that follow this schedule, the teachers do 5 out of 8. But we're going under the assumption of 6 out of 8. We did incorporate breakfast from 7:20 to 7:35. Staff thought it was really disruptive to have breakfast in the morning until 1:15. Many kids don't eat. I get it, they're there to socialize, and if there's a way that we could actually squeeze in 5 minutes for them to socialize, we would just take a minute off of each period, so we're still discussing that. Let's see. Oh, what really liked about this was that now middle schoolers will have 8 periods instead of 6. So that would allow them for one more elective and one more, we call it a power block, RAM block, and it's pretty much either an intervention or enrichment period for the entire grade. So 1 week, they would have ELA interventions or enrichment, and the next week math. And that's 58 minutes a day. So we like that, and we realize that like math classes are seen less. You're still seen, but because of the rotating schedule and the drop, some math teachers were kind of anxious that they wouldn't have daily math. But our thought was with the additional intervention block, enrichment block, as well as that other elective, and we would like to do a STEM elective, something to make math and science fun. So those are our ideas right now. We just really want to give students all the opportunities that we can. And we're kind of locked into this schedule because of CTEC. You can't, if you have the same classes every day, it just negatively impacts CTEC. And when we took family surveys, that was one of their biggest concerns, was to make sure that we had enough offerings for CTEC. And we did not want to go down to 6 or 7 classes because that would mean that we would have to, while we will be re-examining graduation requirements, we didn't want to drop any requirements. In fact, we'd like to add more like financial literacy. So those are some things that we're going to be looking at next year. So this is pretty much where we are at right now. The scheduling committee brought this to the faculty and our building leadership team, and the building leadership team has approved this. We keep fine tuning it. I think the first version that we have from Agawam was they had a 4-day rotation, but on Friday, it would rotate. It would rotate amongst these days, and if one day was a half day or you had a holiday, that would be on Friday, but that seemed pretty confusing. So we just thought straight 4-day rotation, and if there's a snow day, we just continue as if it were the next day, to avoid confusion. We were worried how special ed students would deal with this, because this can look quite intimidating. But we've talked with our special ed teachers who feel comfortable that once we teach them some basic time management skills, organizational, and executive functioning skills. First year might be a little bit tough, but everybody kind of, faculty included, would kind of had to use this on a daily basis just to know where they are going. But the color coding was also a special ed idea, which I thought was very helpful when I'm kind of looking at it. I only included the words prep and duty. So when teachers were asking about, well, how would my prep work on a day where it was dropped? That's how it would run,
So we're looking to implement this next fall.
right, in a year.
In
Because
in a
Amy,
year or in 4 months?
no, in a year, because Amy said she needs a full year to do whatever she needs to do on her end.
Okay.
So we're planning the schedule,
Amy.
McLaughlin, Rediker, the person who does our data systems, yeah.
We have to change everything with the state and our SDS and our course scheduling, and
It's a
there's a
lot.
lot that goes into
Also,
all of our state reporting.
You have to rebuild the entire schedule of student information.
Yeah.
So Amy works for who?
Us.
Change it to.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, Amy McCall, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
high
Got
schools
it.
do have the 8 right
Oh,
now,
yeah.
but another reason, Rob, is because we want a lot more electives, so social studies, half-year courses, we don't have that right now, so it's gonna take
Okay.
them a full year to develop those. And teachers who had like AP US the full year, like 2 blocks for the full year, now it's 1 block, so they have to really reinvent their curriculum.
To make it stretch for the year.
Right, so we're gonna be focusing on curriculum for next year.
There's gonna be a lot of changes to their pacing. You know,
Okay.
timing that all out, and what that's
So the
gonna look
teachers
like.
okay with this? Or were they, okay, probably is maybe not the right
What was the
word.
feedback from the teachers? I'm curious.
The teachers were mostly in support of this. Math department, some teachers were not. They really wanted to have math every day, but that would have meant shorter class periods and less intervention.
So they want math Saturday, Sunday school for the kids for math? I'm assuming not every day. So they
They
don't
work
want, they don't want to do it on the weekend.
every workday.
I know.
But if we did that, we would only have 20 minutes twice a week for interventions, and we did not like that.
So then the day 5 would be a day again.
Big.
Day, and then the following week would be B, C, D, A, B,
Math 4 times a week.
right?
Yes.
And then the next one would be C to C.
You always
Like,
only
it
have
just
one
keeps
drop.
rotating.
And while you would not have math every day, you would have that intervention, and you'd also have the elective, which is a STEM elective.
Yeah.
So in fact, you'd be getting more math.
Okay, that philosophy, if that's that'll be fine. Like, the kids don't forget how to do math between Friday and Monday.
Well,
And
then
they
we
don't
won't
have
feel
math.
like they don't do
Right?
math
No,
half
no.
the year.
This is
Usually,
way
right?
better for math and foreign language.
Yeah.
Which
have
is
it all
hard to
year
have as a blocks.
Like if that was true, all these kids on Monday would be lost. They couldn't do any math if that's the thing. Because they don't get math on Saturday and Sunday. So their system kind of falls apart. All right,
So
It's their
power
preference.
is an elective for the high school students, that power RAM period?
Yeah, so we're really focusing the interventions on 7 and 8 right now. So we're gonna incorporate that already next year. And while I was developing this year's schedule with Marcy Caviello, the guidance director, we're kind of doing it in our head 2 years down the road to make sure everything works. We actually have more sections, so it's more advantageous to go that way. But yeah, every high school would be offered like a power block. It could be used as a directed study, intervention, enrichment. That was one of the wish lists for parents, that they wanted more time for kids to do homework, more classwork in class and less at home because of sports and various commitments. So people would have that opportunity if they so choose.
Yeah, well, I didn't, because I lost such.
Or they can just take another elective.
For the,
I'm not
sorry, I just have a few questions. So for the middle schoolers, the 7th and 8th grade intervention, like what about the high performers in that grade? Like,
So
how
with
does
the
that benefit
intervention,
them, I guess?
So like the STEM interventionists will go into class and ideally there would be 3 groups. So those that really need more individualized, majority group, and those that need enrichment activities. So the idea is that everybody's actively engaged and we're meeting the students at their level. So they're not bored, they're not, sorry.
And say, in the younger grades, we have wind block.
That's what it is.
So this is what wind block is, what I need. So they can go right to math or ELA intervention during wind block. They might do small group with their teacher during wind block or get sent to, like, if they're on a team teacher, like 5th and 6th grade is, they get sent to the other one for that. Or they do classwork, they get to go on their computers and play some kind of educational game or like work on projects, like. It's kind of study, but then the kids who need intervention have that time to do it away without missing class time. Sounds like a similar concept.
Mhm.
From
Very
those
much
younger.
Are those kids identified? Like, they need the intervention and sent, or is it on them to be like, I need help?
Tier 2.
The younger kids,
Well,
they
yeah,
get,
fine.
when we do like dribbles and
give them a little.
whatever.
Well, you know what I mean?
They're testing when they're younger, then they get identified through their beginning of the year testing, so then they'll go to intervention.
They're like sent.
They're sent to it,
Yeah.
and then if they get reevaluate, or actually, I wanna say it's every 6 weeks? They get
For
relooked at?
for students who are in intervention, usually we do something every 2,
Oh.
but we don't reassign until like 6 to
Yeah.
8.
Oh,
So instead of
like
being
they-
spent, they're gonna, the interventionists will come to each
Exactly.
classroom and do activities with the whole class. Just differentiate.
Cool. Well, this is exciting. I know we've been talking about this for years about, we want to change the schedule, so now we're right around the corner.
We're excited.
Huh? You're what, right when you're
I'm
leaving?
leaving, that's great, thanks.
Will you want to hang around just to be like,
Gonna come and
you
walk.
could be like an advisor. If I could get you a stipend, you could come in and you could be an advisor.
Anybody else have any additional questions? And we will most certainly keep you up to date.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need to get some with the colors. I mean, I like the color, regular updates as to how this is going.
Absolutely.
And make sure you let us know. You can forget it.
Staff have been very supportive, so we opened up the scheduling committee to absolutely anybody who wanted, and we had at least a third of the staff show up. And on a regular
Wow.
basis, we have at least 15 to 18 teachers who show up, so there's a lot of interest and a lot of support with diverse ideas, so it was a great
Almost too many.
session.
Like you find sometimes you get too many people, or it gets
Well,
tough to.
Many of them were thinking my way, so I kind of liked it.
Well, that means there was an act of recruiting who changed.
No, not at all. But I think everybody, you just put everybody.
That's awesome.
list together and see what we came up with.
I love it.
So as far as the courses go, the reason why we're bringing this to you now is because we have a large incoming 7th grade class. And right now, when we do quarter classes for 7th and 8th graders, there's only 4, so 1 per marking period. What we'd like to do is offer students choice. They would have to take PE and health, but then there's 4 other classes that they could choose from art. So it'd be PE, health, art, and then these are your other choices. career exploration with Marianne Margiata, which would be a 45-day exploratory. There's a software called LearnBlade, which is through DESE, which is for free. And it kind of looks at different jobs, but kind of through a unique lens. So like if you are interested in, I don't know, sick dolphins, that would be a unit, and then it would tell you what are things that you could study, and then it just, I can't think of it.
Marine biology.
No, but it was very specific to, so it's not just that, but if you wanted to be a researcher in this area or look at water pollution through this lens. I just thought it was very practical, hands-on. So it's career exploration, which will be offered to 7th and 8th graders. And I think the following year, we would have to revisit what we would do for 8th graders since they will have the exact same curriculum. So around the world through film, we wanted to do something that encouraged middle schoolers to think more globally. Right now, roughly 40% of 8th graders retake Spanish 1 at the high school, which is a lot. So we also wanted to offer something for those students who plan to take Spanish 1 and 2 at the high school. And knew right ahead that they were not ready for Spanish 2, that they could actually take the class that's called World Cultures. So it's on the last page, and this is a full year course in lieu of Spanish 1 at the 8th grade level. So it's just a little bit more global. It will have a Latino focus on it, but it will be more about worldwide perspectives and traditions, not necessarily conjugating verbs, but you would learn some vocabulary. This connections course on the other page is also a quarter course that Rich Quinn would teach. So he is from William James College Cohort 1. We have 2 cohorts right now. So he's really been actively working with our students and faculty on improving school climate. We have Josh, are you in Connections? So these kids also have been going down to Powder Mill, working with their 6th graders. If we have an issue at the middle school, it could be about anything. We've had them go into classrooms and teach. We're trying to have them be more as peer mentors to the younger students. So that's anybody who wanted to take Connections and do more kind of like civic projects and school climate projects. And the top one there, I don't think we're gonna run, but just in case, it's just a 45-day beginner Spanish class, which we might need somewhere down the future. So I just thought since it was on our list, but I really liked Around the World Through Film and Sound. And that will be Miss Desmond will be teaching that, and she has a strong film background. But I also wanted to incorporate like music from around the world, just something fun for the students. That it's not a homework-based class, but just to have a more global perspective for them.
Awesome. More to come. Good. I notice there's no classes on Canada. You're completely forgetting the French to the north.
Would that be in world cultures?
Apparently not, because there's a Latino focus.
That's
I don't.
Teachers, that's why.
Just north of us.
Wait a minute, it's gonna be the 51st state.
I don't. We do. That's just part of the United States, right? So, just saying. You gotta remember, there's people north of us too. It's not all Inuit. So there's Eskimos are up there. So
And I just
Either way.
add, I think it's great.
I didn't talk
The
them.
junior
They're
high
all good.
school is gonna be
Junior high
phenomenal.
school.
Yeah, the junior high. Junior high school.
Junior
right?
high school.
Junior high school kids.
You know what? I swear to God, I always call them junior high. I swear.
And still using that.
I swear it's junior high.
That's gonna be strongly recommended.
Yes.
Encouraged.
The designee is supposed to use junior high as the terminology. Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, welcome. How do you do?
So far, so I'm
We've been in.
not sure about that. It's always hard to tell. John.
I'm supposed to go back with scores and updates
Oh,
and
gosh, no, it's hard enough just to keep track of where each kid is.
we need a better computer interface and.
Actually, I'm gonna go watch that.
All right. That's it. We're dropping
Oh,
flies
do you
here.
miss you too?
You-
No, I wanted to
It's
go
okay.
there, but
World
yeah.
culture, nothing but Canada. That's.
Summary.
Or the UK.
There's a total lockout on the British monarchy. Nothing about Australia, nothing about Britain, nothing about Canada.
Commonwealth.
I know, maybe we should, you know what, I think we could vote on that. We could do a British Commonwealth, like, class education.
So do we do a schedule update?
Yes, we did, yeah, basically, no math anymore. Like,
Oh.
it's not happening. No, it actually looks pretty cool, I think you'd like it.
Yeah.
It's all, we got it in color in our booklet.
Awesome.
So, I don't know how we got the color approved, but it's in there and it looked good. All right. We're gonna go back to our student representative that's here. You got an update for us, or you just wanna keep moving?
No, I just wanted to sit up here.
Okay, all right. I mean, you're here, so go ahead. What do you got?
Not my glasses, that's for sure.
Uh-oh.
So this is gonna be my final meeting and you'll all be looking across at a new junior representative to our school committee and an auxiliary senior representative to fill in for Taylor during field hockey, as well as any other absences for both members. The students are junior Ella Sams, who has worked closely with me and previous representatives, as well as on the principal advisory board, and will serve as the auxiliary member, and she'll be a great addition. And for our junior representative, we'll be having Sammy Sanchez joining our team. Sammy has served as a class officer and on student council, as well as various other clubs, and I feel that she'll be a good voice for the junior class. This year's prom was a success. It was held at Crestview Country Club in Agawam. The theme was Vegas, and people enjoyed the great views and spending time with their friends, loved ones, and some school members who were kind enough to chaperone. The entire Southwick Colony Granville Regional School District family would like to extend our thanks to the Southwick Fire Department, Police Department, as well as the Hampden County District Attorney's Office for attending and working in collaboration with the SRS SAT, who hosted the Stop the Swerve event. Their presentation, visuals, and centers allowed students to see firsthand the dangers of drunk driving and press the need to be safe and responsible for students, not just on prom night, but every day. AP students have completed their tests and will receive their scores in July, and seniors will have their finals very soon. Seniors are looking ahead to their class trip to Camp Jewel, as well as senior week activities, including Senior Sunset, where seniors will come together to reflect on their achievements, memories, and time well spent with their peers during their time at SRS. The countdown is on to the last day of school for us seniors, with only 7.5 days until checkout. And as for the rest of the students, about 20 something days.
Doesn't matter for them.
No.
It's
June
7.5, that's all.
June 8th.
And on a personal note, it has been an honor and privilege to serve as student representative to the school committee for the past 2 years. I set my eye on the representative position at kind of a low point in our history, but over the past 2 years, I've seen us pull out from that low and move forward together. We've achieved great things and become stronger than ever before, and I'm thankful for this opportunity. Wish the best for our school and each and every one of you. So thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks, Josh. It's been a pleasure having you with us. You've done a fantastic job, so.
And I'm gonna fly on your first flight.
Oh, there we go. So where are you going to school?
I'm gonna go in Westfield, probably fly Lugo.
Okay,
Flight school.
very cool.
Yeah, and they have like a partnership with like Purdue. Purdue has their flight school and stuff, but they have Purdue Global, which is like their online one where you can, in addition to getting your private pilot's license, all that stuff.
Get the stuff
I
for
can
your
get a
commercial.
bachelor's for like the business administration for aviation side. So
Very cool.
probably. Yeah.
Very good. So one day in the future, we'll get to hear you. This is your captain speaking, and
Oh my God.
we'll be on flight, and that'll be awesome.
Yes.
That's the run you want?
I don't know.
I'll get you Vegas. You're gonna get
Aruba.
If
Aruba.
I was like flight attendant, like, you're biased. You got.
everything is Aruba for her, so that's good.
Laura,
All right.
you're gonna mix the every age group.
Okay, educational presentation. Superintendent Willard, we got anything tonight, or we?
No, just this is a reports. I just want to say we went to the Grinspoon
Oh,
dinner
yes.
last Tuesday. Sherman Stevenson was there. We got to celebrate Darcy Saltmarsh, first grade teacher at Woodland School. Erin Carrier was there and Principal Rood, and we had a great time, and it was just great celebrating one of our teachers, and she is so deserving of this award. And also, Granville and Tolland had their annual town meetings last week, both unanimously passed our operating budget and our capital budget. And so the operating budget is officially passed, so we don't have to go to a 1/12 budget, but we do have the Southwick annual town meeting tomorrow night. And if they approve the capital, we'll be all set and ready to go.
And so those of you playing at home, operational budget requires 2 of the 3 towns to
Yep.
vote them in the affirmative. So I don't know what kind of debate we'll have tomorrow night, but good or bad, it doesn't really matter from an operational side that the operational budget's passed. So we'll see how that goes. Those of you that can make it, it'd be great to see you there. I know who's gonna be, you, both of you are gonna be there, right? Everybody's gonna be there? Okay. I'm hoping we may have some questions. There's certainly been, I think we've answered a lot of them from the finance committee's side of it, so I think that's been very helpful. I never know what kind of questions we're gonna get from the townspeople, from the taxpayers. But usually when they come up, Superintendent Willard, Nick, somebody, I've jumped in a couple times before, we'll answer them and we'll get through, so hopefully we'll be all set. We'll have a 3 for 3 for everybody.
And I want to give a shout out to Aaron and Nick, who did a phenomenal job in the Granville town meeting.
Good.
1 week before, maybe even less, I had said, it'd be really great if we had just like bullet points of like what makes our district special and why we're awesome. And Aaron rocked it, and did an amazing job. And, Nick took on all things financial, like they just made us look so good that there was no questions, no negativity.
That's a welcome.
It was really awesome.
Yeah.
It was really awesome.
So
And
Ray, the last 5 years, was this the most successful one that you had?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
Pam made a really good point going in is that she had said to highlight what we're doing well, but give norm references. So anytime we could, I made sure I didn't just say where we were. I said if I could tell where the state was, national figure. So I tried to always give those comparisons so that people understood what it meant, not just, and you can't do it for everything, but for many things we could.
But it was so effective because, most of the people in the room didn't have kids in the district. So giving them that reference point, and it was really great. And I
Well, like I said, I think that's the kind of information that I want to bring to the towns in the fall.
Yeah.
Because in anticipation of minimal local contribution going out, fixed rate increases going up. If we can make it through without having a 2.5% vote at any of the 3 towns, that's awesome. I think we're gonna be there even if we do everything perfect. So letting the taxpayers and letting the townspeople know what we do that's good, how we are doing with the minimal amount over that we spend over the net school spending. We're doing a fantastic job with the results that we're getting with the money that we're putting in. Now, are there opportunities for us to be a little bit tighter and to be a little bit more prudent and smart with the money that we're expending? I think there is. I think there are opportunities out there that we can look at and be a little better with. But we're doing a great job with the money that we're investing right now. So if we do run into that 2.5% proposition question, I think it's going to make it a lot easier for the townspeople to say, okay, I don't like this, but I understand. And they can vote yes without feeling that everybody's wasting all their money.
And like you had said previously, a presentation not like, focused on why we're awesome, but a separate one,
Yeah.
related to net school spending
Yep.
and just the nuances of that, because that was the one question that we had. The one question that we had was related to required minimum local
Yeah.
contribution. And so just understanding what that
Yeah,
is, you kind of
it's-
have to do it every year just
Yeah.
because the
Well, I
people in
think-
the crowd are different every year.
Look, I mean, it took me 1.5 years or so just to even understand
Oh, they
our
every
budget
year.
that goes through this. I mean, this is not a simple process to go through and have a good understanding of what a regional school budget looks like. I mean, Russ has been on both sides of the thing, and he's like, you know what, now I got it. Like, it only took two different appointments, 4 different years, but now it's like,
40 years.
right. But it's not
Cut to the chase.
a simple process to
No.
get. So I think the more that we can give from a transparency and try to help them navigate their way through this, the easier it is for us when we get to the point when we have to have people vote on this.
Well, it's also very hard because of the complexity of the Commonwealth, the formula.
Yeah.
Nobody can explain the formula,
Right.
how they get to this.
No,
Because they keep smoke and mirrors and changing.
Exactly.
You know, it's, so we can't explain it fully. We just have to let people know, look.
Yeah.
This is what's happening. Not just Southwick, Granville
Oh,
Town,
yeah,
but
this
every
is gonna,
community.
this is gonna
This is
get,
your minimum contribution. These are your fixed costs. Well,
is what it is, right?
what did the South Hadley end up doing?
They haven't yet.
So they voted down their budget.
They've got another override coming.
they, in the fall, another override, 3.5 million.
I think they voted to apply more free cash
Yes.
towards this next year's budget to keep some stuff, but
Sports.
they're gonna be voting in September, I think, for a smaller override figure.
About 3.5 million, so 9 million.
Wow. Big, that's a big chunk of it.
Well, it is. You know,
right.
most overrides aren't passing.
Yeah, no, I
They're
know.
not.
Well, but I don't think, and that's why I wanna get ahead of it.
Yeah.
So that we can at least have the best chance we can if we need to. Nick, what do we got tonight? Anything?
Yeah, just a couple of quick things, kind of piggybacking on what you just mentioned. I attended the Masbo Annual Institute last week. Great to be with like-minded colleagues and all that, but the reason I bring this up is because I went to a regional school district specific session. And the panelists were all from the Department of Elementary and Secondary Ed, they're going through this and that. They asked the room, they said, how many of you anticipate a 112 budget? And more than half of hands went up.
No way.
So I just wanted to mention how thankful I am that we're not in that situation. You know, we've had a collaborative budget process with the 3 towns and the various boards and committees and, well, the school committee and finance committee. And, you know, it wasn't easy and we definitely had to find efficiencies where we could, but, you know, we did it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm really thankful for that because there's a lot of places.
12 budget meeting.
Basically, if your towns reject your budget and they don't figure it out by June 30th, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education gives you 1/12 of, you know, basically for 1 month. Because you can't pay any of your bills if you don't have a budget passed. So in order for the district to
Gives
keep.
you an extra month.
Yeah, basically, yeah, they base it off of like
Last
the
year's
current
budget.
year's money. But they might increase it a bit based on your chapter 70 increase, but you gotta do it again every single month. And if you don't get one done by December 31st, then the department just sets your budget for the rest of the year.
The problem is if it goes off last year's 112 budget,
Layoffs.
that
level
doesn't, that,
funded.
yeah, that's level funded. So if
Yeah.
we look at all the fixed costs, and if you go back, it's not level services, level funding. So if we go back to the 1.7 or 2.1 million dollars in fixed cost increases that we were looking from last year to this year, you'd have to eliminate all of that. So we're in that 30 teacher range that would be an absolute devastation to the district.
Every sport and enrichment.
Oh, absolutely gone.
I
Yeah.
mean, the first
Yeah.
couple months wouldn't be too bad because in the summer, your costs aren't that high, your teachers and pairs aren't, you know, like it's, but you get to September and you're looking for, yeah.
And the problem with it is you lay off all these people, you're paying unemployment if they don't have a paper that says on July 1st that they have a teaching job next year, they get unemployment for the entire summer. Even if you hire them back on July 2nd, they all get unemployment. So not only are you behind with the level funding, but you're paying all these unemployment costs for teachers who you're expecting to get back next year. It's awful. It's an awful situation.
We do not want to be in that situation.
Do not.
The other thing I had, I just wanted to follow up on the hourly rate substitute cost you
Oh,
asked
yeah.
me last meeting. So basically what I did is I looked at the accounts that we pay these folks out of currently. Clerical, custodial, paraprofessional, and cafeteria subs, all $15 an hour. I calculated the total cost. I divided that each one by 15, which are making by figure out how many hours they worked. Which most of them let the clerical one 3.43 hours. That's weird. I don't know. Whatever. But anyway, then I multiplied the amount of hours by $16 an hour, which is what I proposed at the last meeting, and then $16.50 an hour. So to go from where we currently are to $16 an hour would cost them just under $6,000 additional dollars for next year. based on everything up until early May. I mean, we still have a month, but you know. To go to $16.50 an hour, it would be an additional 3,000 on top of that, almost 6,000. So really, you're looking at, you know,
9,000 at the max.
yeah. So I mean, my personal recommendation is starting at 16, and the school committee can always vote to move, you know, up if you feel you need to, if we.
So with that kind of a small adjustment, could we put forth a motion where we approve you to move up to 16.50 if you feel it's like we can start at 16, and then based on the applicants and whether you feel you need to go up, that way you've got that kind of latitude where you don't have to wait another 2 more weeks to come back to us. I mean, I don't think it's we're talking a $3,000 adjustment here. I think we all would, or I would hope we'd all trust you to be able to make that decision. I mean, we're not talking $60,000-$70,000 here.
Yeah, and if we're finding that 16 is not cutting it, we're still not getting subs, then yeah, I mean, I think you could make that question.
So we'll, anybody got any, we'll have a discussion about it when we do the motion, but to me, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, give him a little bit of latitude. It doesn't really, there's no sense in bothering us with a second vote on that. I mean, if we go from 16 to 22, I mean, you know, that's a big difference, and I want to be involved with that.
Right.
Okay. All right, we don't have any public comment because there's nobody else here.
Can I make a public comment in I'm sitting? Or no?
Well, you can do, you
Like,
have
as
to
a
do
parent,
public
as a
comment.
parent. can I
Yeah,
ask?
go ahead. Yeah, what do you want to do?
Like,
You can just say whatever you want. Go ahead.
My kids came home today talking about AP courses being cut next year and some big concerns about that. Like no AP chemistry, a couple of other AP courses, maybe not happening.
I know that they were looking at enrollment, they can still take them via the virtual high school. They can always take whatever AP course they want, but if they did not have enough students to take the course, they're not running it, they're not cutting them per se. They're just not, there weren't enough students who were signed up.
Or,
check numbers.
or they've had situations where they didn't have a teacher for it either. Because you need a special, like certificate and.
Is there a
right.
teacher that taught AP Chem even?
No,
Okay, so I'm gonna bet it could be enrollment.
I don't know.
I
don't know what it's about.
Did AP classes come up at all
No.
in this
No.
discussion?
No, because it was.
That's done.
So how about we do this? We're gonna have another meeting in 2 weeks. How about if we have Deanna come or somebody come with a breakdown on enrollment and what's going on with AP classes? Because we're hearing firsthand that we've got some concerns out there and we'd like to get an update as to what's going on.
yeah, but like, for example, we didn't have teach environmental biology. Kids were still able to take AP environmental biology, they just took it as a VHS course. And that's what a lot of smaller schools do, if these kids want to take like an AP course and we can't offer it because we don't have enough students to take it, they can take any AP they want, we just pay for it with a virtual high school.
Obviously, there's no hands-on lab within eight, you know,
Right.
so it's
There is an
certainly.
AP bio, I know, because I was the AP bio assistant. Cause Bridget took AP bio VHS and she got a box. And we did all of the labs at home and I.
That's
was the
cool.
lab
That's
assistant.
cool.
Yeah, well, a big box of equipment came and in every weekend it would be like lab time.
No way.
I would be her little lab assistant, yep.
You get
That's
frozen
cool.
pig
I don't
and
know
whatever,
that.
can they do dissections in the box or?
No, I would not do
Okay.
it, but that's she does it, yeah.
How does virtual AP courses work in terms of what we were talking about last time about who pays to sit in
We pay
exams,
for those,
regardless of how many are taken?
yes, we
It would
don't
still go
say
by
no
our
to any of
policy.
our students if they want to take a course because of our size.
There's a virtual high
Well,
school.
the exam we talked about last time, but I'm talking more about the cost of the VHS, because there must be a cost if they're sending you
There is.
boxes, yeah, home, it's not just online.
We also have a teacher who teaches a class. So we're part of a consortium, right? So we teach, so kids somewhere are taking a class taught by one of our teachers that is virtual and our kids are taking.
really?
classes. Yes. So that's how that, like, we. it would
Oh,
cost
it's
us-
kind of an agreement.
Yeah.
Yes, it costs us less than it might cost somebody else because we put a teacher in teaching a class.
We're having a little bit of trouble right now figuring out who it's going to be because of the cuts we made, so, but
Are the VHS slots like dynamic or are they fixed every year, like the number?
dynamic.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like, and that changes pretty quickly, because like I've had kids at the very start of the school year be like, oh, this won't fit into my schedule, I'm gonna have
Yes.
to take this. And then
Yeah.
this happened like within a week or two of the semester starting.
So just like we
Determine,
see,
like, what's the threshold for how many kids
That's what's gonna
before
be my
you
question.
decide to not?
It's a great
course.
Probably under 5. I would imagine.
well, I mean, it's,
I guess like, as a parent with someone who is at the top of your class.
Yeah.
Wanting those type of like stretch assignments, right? Like. There's not a lot of options. You could do the virtual or you could go to college prep, which for her, that's. She's not gonna
so the other thing that came
get
up,
anything out of it.
I don't know when it came up, do we, Bodak,
Harriet, okay.
I believe so.
Watch it.
Watch it does, because Zoe took AP Chem with her. What about a college affiliation where they
Kids who do.
do enrollment? Like, that could be,
It's online too though, right? Or
no,
Actually go.
You go to Westfield State and then you can go to HCC.
I'm just saying, like, there are other options.
But I mean,
She'll have her license.
yeah,
Oh,
I mean, I've
You
just
know.
heard the AP keeps coming up like through
Yeah.
the rumblings.
Well, I
Even
think-
for
I think the
kids,
challenge-
not just my own kids, but
Look,
in
We've
general.
been dealing with these, with this challenge from the numbers, and it's funny because it's with this grade, right? With these age grades. Back at the rec center years ago with soccer and travel teams and all of that. So like 5-6 years ago, when these guys were all in elementary school and younger, we were running into issues with fielding teams. Don't have enough teams for this, don't have enough teams for that. We gotta mix groups, we gotta add.
Run that prof.
No, well, we do, because it's the numbers dictate what you
Yep.
can and can't do. So it's no difference with this. I mean, we can't, obviously, it doesn't make sense to run an AP Chem class with a class of 2. We've got to have somewhat of a minimum level. I mean, at least there's some options out there, but I mean, I would look at, if we've got dual enrollment options, I mean, that's a way to do it too. All right. More to come, but
Yes,
that's a
okay.
good,
Any other?
school committee comment.
Couple others, I just don't remember the names right now.
Oh, and by
We'll find out.
yeah, there was another thing that just literally came up this weekend, that we've already dealt with, and those people that are online or whatever, there should have been an email that went out today.
Should have been.
There was a question that came actually to me, on Friday about NHS, stoles, and that people were gonna be asked to pay for them if they wanted to keep them. That got corrected, first thing this morning. So they'll be able to receive their stoles just like everybody else. So there was apparently a conversation that happened
He
with
was
the
going to
kids last
NHS
week.
student.
So that one's already been corrected. Have you heard about that? So. All right. Policies. First reading of ADF. So this is in your packet. We're obviously not going to read this, but just to put it on everybody's radar. We had a conversation about this in policy today. This is a very substantial enhancement to our wellness policy. I think probably a safe thing to say. They're looking to get this approved. There were some slight adjustments on there with respect to a couple terms that they're going to correct, and it's going to be included in the next school committee meeting at second reading. And we'll get those highlighted, Amanda, if we can highlight them in yellow, so that everybody sees the adjustments to those. What else? We want to talk about this.
It's the state, DESI Department of Ed has already read the policy and made sure that everything in it fits their guidelines. So a lot of what you see in here is required language that fits with the DESI guidelines, because it has a lot to do with school nutrition. And so our nutrition person, Greta, was instrumental in doing that. And then the other half was done by Ashley Chacoin, our lead nurse. But we are part of a consortium group that looked at this over time.
Yeah, and there is language in there. I think they did a very good job protecting us in areas where they could with respect to, we're going to encourage things rather than shutting the door, and it will happen. I made a reference earlier about the ice cream truck. That's going to be after school, hopefully, so that falls outside of this. Oh, well, then there we go. So then I'm glad, so it's a field trip. So technically that probably wouldn't fit under the wellness plan If it was, you will not have
Well-
any sort of extra stuff.
It is, no, it's encouraged for classroom
Right,
celebration.
But that's what I
Right.
mean, encourage,
Flyer.
but if it was, if we went
Then we
to
would not
the
go to
other,
the vice
if we went to the other extreme, we would have been caught.
Yes.
So kudos to the team that put this together to give us some flexibility. Mr. Fox, you look like you
No,
have,
no.
okay,
No,
look like you're gearing up for a question.
no, no, sir. Not gonna question ice cream.
The real thing you don't want to question is cupcakes.
Right,
Right.
That's
right.
birthday
You
cupcake.
can mess that up.
You do not want to mess with birthday
All
cupcakes.
right. So
Long story.
We moved-
Got ingredients, you're good.
That's right.
I moved committee discussion, old business up, because we've got something in here that we need to take an action item on soon. Under old business, so first one, announcement of superintendent finalists. So we had our semifinalists come in, we had 5 people that were requested to come in, we had 4 that came for interviews. We had 3 that we had moved on to finalists, one of them has subsequently sort of pulled back their acceptance of that. So we're down to 2 finalists for superintendent. Aaron Carrier is one of them, and Ginger Coleman is the second. So this is the first time publicly that has been made. What we're looking to do, the next steps that we have to do, the one that we have to agree on tonight, is we need to approve a set of questions that we're going to ask for the finalists at the interview date. So I sent that out, and I apologize. I sent that out yesterday, but I asked Superintendent Willard to kind of use her expertise in this and asked her if she could put together some questions for us. I think she did an absolutely fantastic job. The ones that we got from MASC, we used for the semifinalists, and most of them worked well. I didn't find them to be as specific as we needed them to be. And I think the ones that Superintendent Willard came up with were just perfect for what we're looking for. Ideally, I'm looking for us to have a question for each that we can ask. Have sort of them open up with an opening question that they'll do, like introduce themselves to us, why they're looking to be our superintendent, anything special. And then we each have a question, which these would fit. And then at the end, let them have sort of like a closing statement as to why they feel that they're the person for us. And then we'll do that twice, obviously. And then from a procedural side, we will go immediately into discussion in a public setting where we'll review the 2 candidates. And at a certain point, after we start that, somebody at that point will say, hey, let's put a motion forward. We'll put a motion forward to elect one of them, or nominate one of them as a superintendent-elect. We'll then take a public vote as to what that's going to do. As long as we get 4 or more, then that would suffice. And then what we probably do is once we get to that, if it's not a unanimous decision, we may ask for a reconsideration vote so that once everybody sees the writing on the wall and what's going, we want to make sure everybody's in support of the decision. And then after that, we would go into executive session to discuss negotiations for the contract. But the first thing we need to do tonight is look at these questions. And if everybody's in agreement with that, we can vote on these, and that way they'll be public so that the both candidates know what we're going to be asking them. I'm going to open this up to a conversation here at this point. Mr. Fox.
Well, I went through some of the other questions.
Yeah, I don't know. That's fine. How did you? If we want to swap them out, I'm fine with that
I'm gonna
too.
throw it out there. I think these are good.
Yeah.
Okay. Under collective bargaining, one of the questions, what is your role as superintendent in collective bargaining?
Yeah.
The next one was public relation. What is your experience in public relations, working with the news media? Third one was management, experiencing of building a coalition.
Okay.
And then the last one I chose was number 5, personnel. Describe an experience you had in which you were too persistent.
Okay.
You know, and these all came off of that list.
No, absolutely. So
You can look at,
your question about the public relations, I think, would fit under superintendent's question number 3, crisis management and problem solving. I think that would open up an opportunity for somebody to be able to give a little bit more detail.
You could add media into the actual question.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just going to say,
Yes.
okay,
I would kind of merge the 2.
right, that's.
No, that's fine. That's why we're having the discussion. So what do we want it to look like?
can I just give you some feedback on one
Yeah.
of them? The one about your role in negotiations. It's like the answer's that long, you're not gonna get much out of that person, because
Okay,
I'm only saying that because we're just a resource. So the answer would be, we're simply a resource to provide the school committee with information. So you're not gonna get much depth in that answer. That's just my
you
feedback.
know
on
why
that
I'm
question.
asking.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, but you're not gonna get much depth. in
Okay.
that question.
good enough.
That's really my only feedback on any of those things you just mentioned.
All right,
I would struggle after doing this job for 10 years to give you much more than that.
fair enough.
So
Okay,
under this number 3, where we want to add, so it's got what immediate steps would you take in the first 24 to 48 hours, and how would you maintain trust with the students and the public? What do we want to add?
Well, wait a minute,
Oh,
go back,
okay.
because I think what Russ was really looking for was public relations, correct?
Bingo.
Okay,
Okay.
so I feel like that's more in number 4,
Okay.
right?
Well, there you go. You can add to that.
You know, and-
Regional districts often require strong relationships with families, municipal leaders, and school committee members from multiple towns and the local media.
and involve coordination with the local media or something like that, right?
I like that.
I like that.
And coordination with the local media.
And then in the question itself, describe a time when you faced strong opposition or criticism from your student. How did you handle the situation? What did you learn from it? I would even add a follow-up question.
Yep.
You know, what role do you feel you play in media relations, or like what are your experience, you know, something related to, you know, like what do you feel the superintendent's role is in
In organizing or coordinating media relations.
yes, right.
I mean, you can ask questions and then also have a follow-up question.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay?
Exactly.
Follow it
Okay,
up,
so-
as long as you follow it up.
On this thing, adding to the question, so and coordination with local media, but in the question, what role do you feel the superintendent has in coordinating media relations?
Or in even interacting with the media, something, you know, like something like that,
Interact.
right?
Yeah, I think.
Because, I mean, basically, you're gonna get a sense of who's gonna shy away from the spotlight.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Who's gonna step up to the spotlight,
Okay.
who's gonna abuse the spotlight, I mean, that's what we're looking for here,
Okay,
right?
so
You
we
can say
ju-
no comment.
so
Right.
So we. Okay, so we adjusted for and we dealt with the media.
Okay, so
So what else we
All
got?
right, Jen took care of the first one.
Yeah.
Took care of public relations.
Yeah,
Management,
yeah,
experience of building a coalition.
okay, that's in there somewhere.
I feel like number 1 is.
Yeah.
or number 2,
The communities together.
Well, how would you build a unified vision across central towns while still honoring each community's unique identity and needs? Please share a specific example of when you successfully led diverse stakeholders toward a common goal. I think that, I think
You're right.
that certainly would address that question, would it not?
You're right, tell us about that experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yep,
Okay,
okay,
You had one more that I thought was good.
personnel.
okay, go ahead.
Describe an experience you had in which you were too persistent.
Also
Great
interesting.
question. I don't know where to fit
similar
it.
to one of our first round
Yeah.
questions about
Yeah, is there something that you learned?
It's similar. But
Yeah.
but I think it makes people do a little soul searching.
Okay,
Russ, I would struggle to answer that question right now.
I know, I never had that problem my whole life.
Do you think that was a follow-up to number 6?
Follow up to number 6.
there we go.
Yeah.
That's a
We can do it
good
in
follow up for number.
That is
six.
great.
So in
That's
there,
great.
so.
Yeah.
And then, so second part of number 6 is give us an example of a time that you might have been too persistent.
Correct.
That's a good question. That is soul searching. That really makes you think. And it's not like these are secret questions, so you have time to process it before you
Right.
come in. So you're not catching somebody off guard with it.
That was a
That's a good
question
question.
of mine. Like,
Okay.
when is our other candidate going to get these questions?
Well, these are gonna be, but we're gonna send them to them tomorrow, but they're public as of, like, at the end of this meeting.
Yeah.
Once
Right.
we approve them, we'll be sending them in an email to both of them. Here are the questions that were approved by the school committee last night that you'll be asked at the interview date, which we're gonna talk about here in a couple minutes.
Okay, I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that
Yeah.
they were actually gonna get
Oh, yeah, yeah.
sent to them?
Yes,
rather than
that's
just
just-
you have to look
No,
up?
We only have two. We're sending them to both of them. One of them's in the room, so she's already got it. Now, okay. Question. Okay,
That's it.
that's it. You good? Okay, any other comments? Ryan, you good with these?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's why I was waiting, but now I'm like.
Do we have a date for them, and did you guys already talk about that?
we didn't talk about that yet.
All right,
but
so we'll need to touch base with you about that, okay?
Yeah. She didn't say the date that we took earlier was bad, so
Okay,
I think you can check with everybody else.
okay.
Any other comments, concerns, questions? Okay, so we're gonna add a follow-up question on number 6. Give us an example of when you might have been too persistent. And add it to that. And then on number 4, we're gonna expand on the beginning part that says and coordinate with the local media. And then part of the question, we're gonna ask the second as part 2, what role do you feel the superintendent has in interacting with the media? You hate it or you like it?
No, I'm checking.
Oh, okay, all right, I got you. I'm like. Okay,
I like it, what?
are you guys okay with these? Okay, so I would like, we're gonna get to those in a second then. All right, so next thing that we have to try to figure out, timing and what the next step is after this. So we want to have an opportunity for the 2 finalists to be able to interact with the teachers, students, townspeople, stuff like that. So what we're looking at doing is on June the 3rd, which is a Wednesday, we're inviting them in so that they can spend the day with us, not us, but us, the district, where the 2 finalists would be here for the afternoon and the evening. They would come in, superintendent and Nick are gonna work on coordinating when they were able to meet at the three schools, have some time to see what's going on, visit the schools, see what the district, how that's running. And then we have 2 opportunities in the evening where we have the candidates split. We have them like a time between 5 and 6, and then 6:30 and 7:30, where they could meet people from the public, and we actually end up having them swap out between Granville and here, so that they could have a chance to meet people at Granville and Tolland and Granville. And then we have an opportunity here in Southwick for them to meet the 2 candidates here at the cafeteria at Powdermill. So we were looking to do 5 to 6 o'clock in the evening, and then have them swap between the 2 spots, and then at 6 to 7:30. So that way they'd be able to
6:30 to
6:30 to 7:30. Yeah,
5 to 6.
and then 6:30 to 7:30. Right,
I
okay.
think it's a half hour.
And then what we're looking to do, hopefully, as you guys are looking at your schedules, what I'd like to do is we have a school committee meeting set for June the 1st. I'd like to set a special school committee meeting on June the 10th, which is a Wednesday, for us to do the interviews.
I'm away.
Okay. When do you leave?
28th of May, and then back the week of the 15th.
Okay. So. Back the week of the fifth, that's a Monday?
Mhm.
Okay, so, okay, I mean, is there any reason we can't do it on the 17th? The interviews?
My only concern
Yep,
is the last day of school is the 18th,
okay,
and I just feel like announcing the superintendent the day before school ends is not, speaking of public relations, a really good public relations move.
It's also the LPVC corporation meeting, so
okay,
someone needs to do that.
so. All right, so hang on. So let's look at
It's
this.
just,
She leaves on the 28th?
It's 2-week trip.
Okay, so. So it is the 18th.
Can you patch it in?
I'm gonna be in Japan.
Oh,
So
okay,
time difference is not in my favor.
all right, so. I get back. You leave the 28th.
We're patching on the 27th, but is that?
No, I know, I'm
It's the
on
right
a
way
trip
round.
and I'm coming back from Vegas on the 27th.
would
I don't
the
get back till
15th
7.
of June's be too late, Jen? Still pushing it?
Okay.
I mean, June tenth is
So here-
next, but we're far away from the
So
fifteenth,
here-
I think even the tenth is a
So
little
here,
far, but that's
okay,
just
so
my.
I guess here's the question I've got
I mean-
about that.
I'm not making a
Maybe,
call.
maybe I'm struggling a little bit. Why, if we choose to identify who the superintendent-elect is going to be on the 17th of June is a massive faux pas when I could see if that person was actually going to be taking the roles on July 1.
Good point.
I was gonna
Okay,
bring
this is
that
not
up.
Valid
happening.
point, valid
This is
point,
a whole
This
year.
is not happening for a year.
valid point.
Okay, we've got obviously two options. Okay. One option means that we have a person that will be in a advisory or a learning position for a year, or we have another person that wouldn't be taking over the roles for an entire year.
Valid
So,
point.
I mean, personally to me, I think what we do is we just push it to the 17th.
Yes.
We do it then, and frankly, I'm sorry, but we can't please everybody, but I want to make sure that all of my 7 school committee members have the opportunity to be here.
I would agree.
We'll be in trouble with LP.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, that's their meeting?
Yeah.
And we can't miss anymore.
Well, can we do, when are you back?
On that Monday, I'm working.
Oh, well then how about we do the Tuesday? Can we do the 16th?
Yeah.
Is anybody got a problem with the 16th? Jen?
Just kidding.
Melissa, could you make the 16th work?
Sure.
Russ?
Oh,
you're not even on.
A member of the.
Right, right.
school committee.
I mean, this is assuming, yeah,
Yes.
because I'm on the ballot, I think you are.
No. That's, what do you mean?
To be elected for the 3-year term. I'm on
Yeah,
the
but that's
ballot.
next year.
No, it's not, it's this year in Taunton.
No,
Well, they put me on the ballot.
you're not supposed to be on the ballot.
We were nominated at the finance committee meeting I
And
went
I
to.
wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not supposed to be on the ballot this year. Your spot, Pam's spot, and my spot,
All three of
all three of us are up at the same time.
But I was appointed,
Yeah, but
Deferring.
your term
so.
Your term is only supposed to, let me check, I will verify that for you.
It's on the
But
ballot.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, but
You're not going anywhere.
they might incorrectly have you on there. Listen, I don't think you're gonna have a snowball chance in hell of losing. But I think they may be preemptively doing that, because I think that what they do is they appoint somebody for the remainder of the term.
I think, wasn't this finished Ted's?
Next year.
No, next year. Ted's term doesn't end till next year.
Okay. That's
So
what she
anyway,
told me,
well,
that's what the.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have an issue
Town
anyway,
clerk,
even if that we'll verify that. But how about if we tentatively do it for the 16th of June on the Tuesday?
And we just need to check in.
We need to check with Ryan.
Now, does that mean we would still leave the meet and greets for the 3rd?
Oh, I think so.
Ryan has soccer practice on Tuesday. Oh.
Okay, so what about Monday? What about the 15th? See, Nick, we were gonna have a meeting on the 15th anyway. I was saying 15th.
Alright.
So let's do that.
Who's this meeting?
We can,
You could do one
What?
from 5 to 6 and one from 6.
We have to- we-
Well, they do it 5 to 6:15. I mean, maybe she would just cancel.
does she have a assistant coach?
Yeah.
Maybe the assistant coach could do it for Monday. Okay, so 15th or the 16th, we don't need to make that decision. We'll figure that out. It's not like this is imminent. 15th or the 16th, we will have our meeting. What I'm looking to do is here's my question, because we're looking at 2 hours worth of interviews and then a discussion. I don't know how long it's gonna take. And then we gotta go into executive. So the earlier the better. I mean, I certainly have the flexibility. You're gonna be done early. You're retired. Well, no. Yeah, I know, but you can get here for 4 o'clock or something. I mean,
Or I can't get.
my question is, how early could you be here?
I could be here early on the Monday,
Okay.
the Tuesday.
No, that's fine. I'm kind of leaning towards Monday now. On Monday, could we start at 5?
Make that work.
Okay,
Could you do earlier?
well, I could do earlier. I don't know, could we do 4?
I put it in.
Jen?
4 would be
Okay.
a better
I
time to
could
start.
do
You're
4
gonna
or
have
5:15.
No, I mean, if we could start at 4, I think that's even better.
five.
Okay. Mr. Fox, I'm gonna request that you come to that. Like I said earlier, I think it might be worthwhile. I'm gonna check with Liz, but I think it might be worthwhile for you to be present, listen to both candidates. You've been involved in this process all the way along. I think it might be valuable to get your input that night, just to see what your thoughts are. You certainly wouldn't be able to vote, but that doesn't mean that your opinion wouldn't be valuable to the committee.
So we should
So-
assume 3 hours roughly.
I would, yes, I would assume 3 hours. You don't want to be there?
No, I
Okay.
just think, make sure to point out, you talked about going in executive session, the vote is in public.
Yes.
All right, you know, I know sometimes people have hesitancy when you're doing that, but that's the new law, so
Yep.
the discussion, your vote is in public.
Everything, the questions have to be in public, everything. is-
yeah.
Everything's in public.
Yeah, and Liz gave me, just so I run it, Liz gave me some heads up on sort of like rules of the road on this, okay?
Take place here or?
Yeah, well, we'll either have it, we have to figure out where. Where did they do yours,
People
Jen?
can come and
Here.
attend.
Oh, in this office?
Right
Okay.
here, I sat right here.
So,
Yeah, they can come, it's a special school committee meeting, I probably, did they have public comment at that?
No.
Okay, I would lean against that,
No.
we don't have to have public
No,
comment.
no,
No, it's just
Um,
the interview.
Okay, good, okay, so we'll have a special school committee meeting. I will not post public comment for the meeting. What we are gonna do is I'm gonna enlist, Liz is gonna be able to help us, that at the meet and greets, we're gonna have a QR code that we create, that we're gonna have a Survey Monkey available so that if people wanna make comments, they can go on to that, be able to easily answer some questions, put any comments that they've got, and we'll make that all available to all of us so we can read those before they come in. And that way we've got a sense, we can get some information from the
I
public.
was just gonna request to get that information as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And I feel.
Who's notifying the towns? Would it be in your town hall or?
So, yeah, so we need to do, that was the other thing that I wanted to bring up. Like, I really wanna make sure that our media relations are strong on this. That everybody, not just people within the school districts, but that like everybody knows that these meet and greets are happening. This is your opportunity to meet both of the candidates. They're gonna be in 2 separate locations. It will be your opportunity to provide for the school committee
Yeah.
your thoughts and feedback.
Yeah.
And I think that that is important.
So they usually do newspaper articles and they name the finalists. So it'd be really good if we could nail down the date and time of the meet and greet. And
Well, I'll
we
reach
put that
out.
in the article.
Yeah.
I agree with you on
Let me
that.
reach out to Ryan, okay, we'll find out whether the 15th works for her.
Well, and also we need to solidify the 3rd
Yes.
up in
I'll put that-
Granville.
Well, we
if
can
we're
do
gonna
that tomorrow,
That
right?
in the,
Yeah.
but the sooner that we have that
Yep.
information, the sooner we can put out that press release.
Right.
And I
It's only a
think,
couple weeks away.
right,
Yeah.
exactly, and I think
Well,
that's.
what-
I've seen the light.
Okay.
You're passing the.
That's why I love you.
Right, okay, so
That's what I learned, Rob.
let's,
And then also what I'd like to do on that QR code
yeah,
is I'd like to have like a deadline, right?
Oh, God.
we'll only have it open for so long.
So exactly,
Yeah.
but make it known when they're, when they're doing that, that
Well, I
like you
think-
have 24
Yeah.
hours or something to respond to this,
It
right?
needs to have names and addresses then as well. You can't just have anonymous comments.
I think you should have a name.
Yeah,
And
No,
I mean,
absolutely.
if someone came and stood here, they would have to, don't they have to
Yeah.
give their address?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'd like to have on, and that if they don't have it filled out, it doesn't get accepted.
Well, yeah.
And like, I don't
So
know
we
if
can do-
like, you have to have, like the address, but at least
Mm.
which of the 3 towns
Well,
you're
I think we gotta be
representing,
careful, I think we gotta be careful on that, because at public comment,
right?
we've made some exceptions to people living in the 3 towns. Teachers that work in the district, parents that have children that come to the
Right,
district to
true.
school choice. So if they're gonna fill this out, I'm gonna make sure Liz has their name and an address on there.
Mhm.
And then what we're gonna do is I'll see if they can have a thing that says your relationship to the district. Whether
Right,
you're
your
a town
role
member,
within the
you're a
community.
school choice parent,
Yeah.
or you're a teacher that works in the district, so that way they can identify that.
Right, but, community member,
Yep.
like, all that, yes, I agree.
We have a policy that we can't accept anonymous complaints or anonymous
Yep. Okay.
information. So we
Okay.
have policy on that.
Right, okay.
So,
And maybe we just think when we ask the address, maybe just put in parentheses required by policy.
Yeah.
Just so that it doesn't.
Yeah.
Feel weird to them,
Right.
you know? And then also I'd like us to be able to get those in enough time before
Well, yeah,
we
if we have
meet.
the meeting on the 3rd, I
Right.
have Liz close it on the Friday, the
Okay,
5th,
okay,
which means that we could get it sent out to us on the 9th, and that way Judy can read it in Japan. So, Very cool. That's a trip of a lifetime. Have you been there before?
I have years ago, but no one else in my family has.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
It's cool.
All right, so I think we're ready to, so the questions were good. We're gonna do an action item on that here in a second. We've announced the finalists. We've got a tentative date for the interview, although we're trying to avoid a Monday. I think Monday might be the best day that we have to do it on.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's true, I thought.
now, Superintendent Willard, before we go to the action items, we've got action items on there for handbook adjustments for Powder Mill, Woodland. We didn't have a presentation, so we're not gonna ask for those things. And then I guess my question is, are we normally don't, since we have, we normally don't approve these the same night that
No.
we get the presentation.
No.
And since we're gonna have a school committee meeting on June the 1st, I wanna move B, C, D, E. What's G?
We carried over from last meeting.
Oh, right, that's the reimbursement.
Yeah.
For changing the reimbursements.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's fine. We can leave that one and we need to approve the finalist questions. All right. Let's go then. You're up.
You have to approve an AP test procedure.
Well, no, because it's a financial one.
Oh, okay.
This is,
Got it,
it's
got
not
it,
just
got
the
it.
procedure, it's
Okay.
the financial reimbursement, which is why we
Got
brought
it.
something on there.
Okay.
All right,
Move to approve consent agenda as listed above, recommended.
So,
Okay.
all right, all in favor? Amanda, let the record show the motion passes 600.
Move to approve superintendent finalist questions, recommended.
so
Second.
All right, so we've got the adjustments that we've got here. Anybody else got anything to say on this before we take a vote? All right,
those questions are going out to.
we're gonna, once Amanda cleans up the two adjustments, we will send them out. We can do that tomorrow, right, Amanda? Okay, they'll go out tomorrow. All right, all in favor? Amanda, let the record show the motion passes 600.
Move to approve AP test procedure, recommended.
So moved.
Second.
And Aaron, just to clarify, we are looking for the first two tests to be paid for by the students.
Mhm.
Any tests after that on an annual basis is paid by the district. So it's not cumulative.
It's not.
Okay,
Each year.
So nobody's gonna pay more than 100 a year,
No, 200.
or 200 a year.
Yeah.
What if you have, I don't know if I asked this question last week or not, is it per kid or per family?
per kid.
Per kid.
Aren't you glad the twins are graduating this year?
Yeah.
All right,
They got college. They look pretty.
can I get a show of hands to approve the motion? Amanda, let the record show the motion passes 600. All right. Oh, wow, we gotta get moving. Let's see. We did negotiations. Just to let everybody know, I am actively involved with Nick and Superintendent Willard, and we're looking at Appendix B with the union. There's a lot of work that we still need to work on that. We're looking to get a lot of stuff clarified as to, this is the section that deals with all the stipend positions and the coaches. We're doing some investigation into what the coaches' salaries are to look at whether we're under. Right now, it looks like we might be under the market, so we might need to make some adjustments there. And on the clubs and the stipend positions, we need a lot more detail as to actually what's going on, because there seems to be some discrepancies in there with respect to how these things are actually created. So we're looking to get that cleaned up, but more to come. And then finance, obviously, we got town meeting tomorrow night, but our operation budget is done. Anything super duper with LPVEC or?
No, just that there's every month they do student of the month. And
Yeah.
there's stuff with kids constantly in there. I've been to it for my daughter before. And they do a whole like luncheon. They have students that cook food or breakfast.
Super.
It's really cool. It's nice.
Good.
It is cool.
We have actually, a student from our school, Isabel Horacek, won, CTEC Student of the Year for like the state.
That's
You
awesome.
mentioned that last meeting. How do you guys
And
forget?
Aaron and I went to the, ceremony. We spoke
CTEC version.
CTEC ceremony, week ago on Friday. at where they gave out all the awards to all the kids, and there were a lot of our kids getting recognition and passing lots of tests, especially in automotive mechanics and horticulture and yeah.
I just wonder if there's a way to highlight, I know it's the end of the year, but like highlight those names maybe in the coming year, like.
Yeah,
for
social
AP
media,
tests
all
and
that.
stuff. Yeah, social media,
Mhm.
yeah, just to bring those kids out and forefront a little bit.
You should almost do an update
Months
before the school's over, just as a roundup for this year, like
we could do
what
that.
kind of Southwick schools have
Yeah, when I could fit it in, I've gone to those. They're nice. They have one in the morning and one in the afternoon. I can't usually make them to both, but they're nice.
Yeah.
7:30, start to 7:30, so. So there's no story. All right, anybody else get anything policy we did? Got anything that from a subcommittee perspective? Anybody got anything for new business?
Just a question,
Sure.
I don't know if this is Fred brought up or not, but I was just being at the playground at Powder Mill today, that ground is all uneven, well, there's huge chunks of it coming out and just concerned. That's all.
The ground is open
The
or
mat.
The mat,
Surface
the
underneath.
surface under the.
Yeah, that's-
under the mat, so the mat's not
Like
real,
a
it's
area.
underneath
There's like
divots.
multiple areas, yeah, I'm just worried about. I
Yeah,
don't know if
and
that's
it's
been
on
brought
the
up.
radar screen, it's a
Okay.
cost, as you
Yeah.
can imagine.
How did
I'm
we
sure.
fix that? It's just like,
Just having the kids running out there.
I mean, I think they're gonna have to replace the entire mat, and resurface underneath.
oh, really?
If you walk out by the truck, you'll see it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
right
yeah.
next along the fence.
I mean,
Where the
they've like
place is.
piecemealed it over the last few years, but.
Isn't it like pull the mat up, level everything underneath it, and put the mat back down type of thing?
It's
Oh,
it's a hole and it's torn.
How long ago did we do that?
I was just gonna say, that's not that old.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't remember that being.
Pre-COVID, yeah,
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Pre-COVID.
6 years.
Maybe a
remember
restoration
we-
project.
That sounds like a restoration project to me.
Yeah, that's right. You
Remember,
guys
we didn't get
here.
it. We never got it.
Restoration.
That's right.
Luckily, it's only.
I think that's almost like, it could be like an ex officio like job. That somebody that might not be on the school committee anymore could be like a special projects kind of thing.
I just happen to be on that committee. Sounds like a restoration project.
I think it sounds like a restoration project too.
Yeah, they called it my $1 million playground that I was.
Well, that's because we had the drainage issue.
Yeah, I know, that's what cost all the money was the drainage. The playground was like 100,000.
Yes, so this business part two.
This may be old business, but the sign we talked about out front.
Yeah.
Trying to change that. Will this come up? Did I miss it?
I think you did.
Well, I think it got voted down resoundingly, didn't it? at the
Well,
town
yeah,
level?
they ruled that we couldn't legally use PEG money.
Okay.
So after tomorrow's town meeting is completed, a private individual is starting a campaign to ask for donations to replace it this summer.
Is this private individual gonna be like a former school committee member, or is it somebody?
Could be.
Like, I feel like it's all.
Could be.
Okay.
Because there seems to be a big interest in some of the teachers.
Students?
And apparently we have some pledges.
Students.
Significant pledge. And I've already challenged a few people to come up.
I would have a business that would donate as well.
I think, I was planning on everything.
I know somebody that's in
But
town, you know.
I wanted to get the wording and
Yeah.
Dina left
Oh, okay.
of the program, because if we raise in excess of what we need for the sign, I'd
Oh,
like that money to
That's
go
kind
towards that program.
what do they call it? The,
Helping
Mr.
Hand?
Helping Hands.
Helping
Right
out.
around. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But I was gonna challenge all the class officers and different
Well,
class,
maybe even student representatives, like for the school committee could be challenged.
students too.
Right.
You know, we're gonna challenge everybody.
No, to help. You could help organize.
Have they looked into like retrofitting any of these, or they have to completely replace?
This
the
has to be
entire-
completely replaced.
I don't know how you retrofit on her. Let's put up the little plastic
We're running
letters.
an extension cord.
Oh.
It'll work. Well, throw Russ out there. He'll hold.
Yeah, I was thinking of a better idea. You don't know him, but we had Jerry Fortier on a roof one time. when we were suing General Electric.
Yeah.
And he stayed up on the roof until, completed,
So you
they-
want a
General
sign
Electric
for is what you're basically saying,
capitulated.
right?
No, he didn't stay up
Why
on the
not?
roof. But they
That's
finally capitulated. We brought General.
We could put him in the
threatened to
brand
go down to
and with a
Connecticut.
sign. And they
Most
And
energetic.
because Jack was a
representative.
UMass graduate, he was the CEO of General Electric at the time. We were gonna chain ourselves onto the doors, and they sent up all the vice presidents and all the leaders council. And we met over in Springfield and they capitulated, so.
Yeah, so you've got a whole history of this.
But Jerry Fortier up on that roof, this.
I have a picture
A
of. me here.
superintendent up on the roof.
He was a superintendent.
Yeah, it's on the roof.
It's up on the roof.
Right. Because literally every time it
Is that why the
rained.
leak happened?
Oh, snap, that's a good one. There you go. All right, so at this point, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Amanda, hang on, let the record show the motion passed 7-0-0. I substituted Ryan's vote for our lovely student representative. We got the vote for that tonight, so the motion
Fantastic.
to end the meeting, his final meeting here was 7-0-0. So, there you go. You and, so you got an official vote.
No.
That doesn't happen very often.
My list is.
Very good. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Brian said